for having me, Cecilia. It's a pleasure being here. So I'm Sean for everyone. Basically, I grew up in the Netherlands for 7 years of my life, and then I moved to Ghana, did my schooling there, and then went back to university in Holland, and that's where we met.
Yes.
So, when I was doing my master's degree at Rotterdam, and I was doing strategic management, and I decided that I wanted to do something to see if I could expand my network around Africa, and seeing also how I can perhaps contribute to, the perception of Africa, and also see if there's any facilitation that we can take place for business in Africa, for students, opportunities for internships and jobs, things like that. So I applied, and it went well.
It did.
And it's been fun. It's been an amazing journey. So yeah, and it's led me here. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Of course. Also. So you are now working at Ringier. Since when have you been working here?
So I started in September, and did my onboarding process in Berlin, first month, just to get to know the company, which was nice. So they really take you through in the beginning, let you know like how things work, who you talk to, the workflow, and then about 4 weeks later, went straight into business. Moved to Ghana, and then the next day that I arrived, started working, and it's been very interesting. Yeah.
And can you explain us a little bit what exactly it is that you do?
Okay, so for Ringier, I'm the head of sales strategy. So essentially, I have to ensure that the strategic element of sales is aligned for each of our markets in Ghana, Kenya, Senegal, and Nigeria. And also help facilitate the sales team. So each country has their own head of sales, and help them communicate together to share pitches, share ideas, sales strategies, and also the communication of the sales team with all other departments of the company.
Okay,
that's
so
the main focus.
Sounds like a really interesting, but yet, of course, challenging job as well for a recent university graduate. If you look at your journey so far, so you came here in September, you got a training first in Berlin. Of course, you were already a little bit more familiar with Ghana than perhaps other people that came to work here. But I can imagine that still there were things that were challenging for you. If you look at your journey so far, what has been most challenging?
Good question. There have been quite a few challenges that I think a lot of people, when they first join the corporate scene, that they will see. Student life is very different from corporate life. I mean, personally, the way that I work, I enjoy work in the evening times, but you have to also kind of manage your time now, because if you work late at night, you will not be as fresh
in the morning.
So it's a little bit of facilitating the time management. I mean, that has been a bit of a struggle point in the beginning, but you adjust very quickly. And I would say that has been the biggest challenge just in general. But also, the company is very decentralized, which is good, because it allows each market to facilitate its strategies locally. But at the same time, it's so important that everybody keeps their finger on the pulse on the other sides of the markets, So the challenge has also been to make sure that we're all communicating together and moving forward as a team, and not just individually trying to move forward. So that's been one of my main focuses, and also something that luckily we've also been making some strides.
Yeah, that's nice. And you mentioned that you are head of strategy, of course, Ringier. What is your vision for Africa for Ringier?
Okay. So this is actually very interesting. Recently, Moritz came to me and he said, "Hey, there's this deal potentially that we could do some work for a client in Europe." For us as a digital marketing company, our main focus is the people here in Africa. But I want us to also keep in mind that just because our readers and the companies that we work for are locally present in Africa, that doesn't mean that we can't reach out to clients in Europe, because there's so many stories here that in America and Europe, all over the world, we could tell a story of. So I want us to reach out to international markets outside of Africa as well, and really tell the story of Africans here abroad. So that's one of the things that I see us doing. And also we're launching new markets in Senegal, so I want us to also enter really in the francophone markets, you know, and be present there too. So that's going to be my focus for 2018.
For 2018, yes. Oh, that's great. And of course, I mean, like you said, Ringier is growing. The focus on Africa is much stronger these days.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest achievement with the company so far?
Okay, so I've joined the company September, so almost 5 months or so that I've been here, and there have been a few success stories, luckily, that I can tell of. Very recently, just before this, we spoke about one meeting that we had in South Africa. One of the biggest betting companies that we might close a deal with has been very interested in our work, and we're looking to close them as well. That's been it's been driven by me, so I can take
some credit for it.
Some credit for that. But also, structurally speaking, I've been able to implement structures to ensure that we have, for example, something called Play Studio, where we bring people from all over the company and share ideas for clients or for upcoming campaigns, like for Valentine's Day. That was in place before I came, but I think that one of my main successes is also to ensure that there's structure to that now, and that a lot of ideas are followed through, not just in Ghana, but Nigeria and in Kenya as well. So I think that's also something that can be proud of, because a lot of big clients, come through these Play Studio sessions. Being able to facilitate and ensure that we bring the highest quality to those clients is important. So I'm happy to say that also I've been able to help, facilitate those meetings as well. So.
Yeah, that's great. It's always good to catch up with members and to see where they are now. I mean, you've been a really big part of the previous African Business Day, and of course, we are really happy to see that through the African Business Day, through the workshop with Ringier, you got this amazing job, and not only are you doing well, you're doing extremely well. So that's even better to see.
Yeah.
So, what does the future look like for you? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Are you going to be in Ghana? Are you going to be in different African country?
I'm definitely going to be in Africa, that's for sure. Whether I'll be in Ghana, I'm not too sure. I don't think that I would want to limit my options, because from what I've learned at the company, there are other African markets that provide so many great opportunities. I was in Lagos about a month ago or so, and the corporate culture there is completely different. You've got good things, you've got some bad things, but what I love in Nigeria is people are so passionate, and people are working so hard to ensure that everything is running in order. So I would love to see myself orchestrating some business opportunities in Nigeria as well. So that's something that I think I probably want to focus on too.
Okay, wow, that's great. Well, there you have it. He's been doing amazing. I mean, it's so great to see that not only you come here, but you already have a vision of what it is that you're going to do next. And we will definitely keep our eyes on you with the ASAH team. And thank you for today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome.